Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a Nabatean mausoleum from the city of Petra. Let's get started. So this is quite obviously a Greco-Roman architectural designed mausoleum. I have designed it as a facade because the original is actually carved into a cliff face, which, you know, Minecraft, we don't have a handy cliff face like that. So I've designed this to be freestanding at the front, but at the back here, it's just straight cobblestone because this is designed for you to slot it directly into a mountain somewhere. You know, if you can find a mountain in Minecraft big enough for this, and you can kind of carve off the front of it, you should be able to build this right onto it. And then behind there, you can put whatever sort of room you have in mind for that. I'll put a little obvious entranceway here for you. But, you know, as you can see here, you're going to have to be adding the room to the back of that. So, of course, have a number of other Roman interiors if you want to put one back there. But this building is mostly just a carved facade, carved out of a piece of rock, actually, a one-piece design. But, you know, Minecraft, we're going to have to build it out of blocks. So I've done it in the usual Roman style that I do, with, you know, the diorite, the tuff, the andesite, and all that. This is a rather interesting building. It's got some actually Baroque touches well before that came into being, mostly with the double columns, but more so with the split pediment up here and the rounded thing in the middle. Well, you know, Minecraft at this scale, this is as rounded as we're going to get for the central feature in here. But it's quite an interesting building, nonetheless. And I think you will enjoy building it. This has been requested for a while. It's always been on the build list to get around to. And I finally have. I think this is a pretty good rendition of it for the scale factor that we have to work with. So with that said, I think we will go ahead and begin the tutorial. Obviously, we're going to be doing this in 1-block slices all the way up to the top. I think there's 50-something slices in this. The dimensions, of course, and the materials list. If you missed that was at the very beginning of the video. Let's see. Let's start, I think, at the corner here. And actually, before we get away from this, if we split the building right down the middle, right here with a center line, what we're going to be building on the left side, we're going to be a mirror image of that on the right side of the building. See what we've done here with the red wool? Well, if we back out a little bit, we can see that the entire building is done that way. You know, good Roman architecture. It of course has a center line, which makes things easier for us. Because once we build, or rather, once I show you how to build half of the building here, the other half is exactly the same. All the numbering, all the blocks, everything. But first, let's start out with the entire thing. So let's establish the base, which is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10 blocks back that way until you get to the back of it. And back here somewhere, this should, you know, somewhere along in here should be your cliff face that you're going to be carving into. Now see, because everyone's world is different, and I don't know exactly what your cliff is going to look like, that's why I'm presenting this here as a facade only. So I think that's the best option to, so you can include it in your world more cleanly and not have to do, you know, a bunch of extra terraforming and everything. All right, and then across the front, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, counting this block here twice. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 21, 24, 25 blocks. That's what, 10 by 25? There for the cobble, and then behind that, just fill the whole thing in with cobble deep slate, or just straight cobblestone for the most part. Now the inner filling of this building has not been optimized, as I sometimes do with filler blocks. So you're going to have, if you want to build some of these things hollow, you're going to have leftover, probably what, cobblestone and andesite, I would think. All right, next phase here. So if we take where we started and count in 2 blocks, and then we want to place down, I think I'll just show you from the top down here. how that goes. Let me get a good tight end view here. So this is the left side, and I think from the polished andesite that you can quite clearly see exactly how many blocks to place. It's 7 back on the left, and then what, 9 to the diorite door frame, and then a couple blocks of tuff, and then the same number again. So let me zoom out a little bit to show you the entire thing in profile. So of course this is a literally foundational phase, so you want to spend some time making sure you have all these blocks placed in exactly the right positions, just as you see here. And don't forget the column bases down here, like so. And with that done, we will move on to the next phase. So for that, let's start right here at the column base, where we've got a bit of diorite, and then because this is attached to a wall, it's a pilaster, so we've only got 3 polished andesite stairs. But here we have, this one is kind of attached, but we've got some freestanding columns. So we've got four stairs arranged around a central diorite block. Then skip 3 blocks in the middle. And then, of course, do the same again. Now behind that, you can see we've got, for the walls, for the detailing, even though the building is carved out of a one piece of stone, I decided to put a little brickwork pattern into this. But if you want to build this out of, say, sandstone or something, you're not going to have that many complementary blocks to that. So you can just build it all out of sandstone if you want to, really. In fact, the entire building, it may actually be carved out of sandstone. I just used the same materials I always use for my Roman stuff with this. But if you want to add the extra detailing here, you can, with the 2-block motif of tuff and andesite. See, every time you place down 2 blocks of tuff, then it's 2 blocks of andesite, 2 blocks of tuff, 2 blocks of andesite, so on and so forth, minus the corners, till you get, of course, to the doorway there. And then the other side of that is just the same as the left one, just mirrored. All right, next phase after that, we want to extend all the pillars and the pilasters up by 3 blocks here and 3 blocks there. Behind that, extend the entire thing up with just a big slab of cobblestone. Just like so, right on top of all that. There, 7 blocks deep by, 9 blocks wide until you get to your door frame. And back here, like I said, this I've left for you to add some sort of interior if you want to. If you do want some interiors for this, you might go and look at my Roman catacombs tutorial. Some of those interiors would fit pretty well back there, I think. All right, so let's go on to the next phase. And the next phase here is pretty easy. Wherever you did the tuff down here, you want to shift that 2 blocks over. Same for the andesite down here. Shift it 2 blocks over so that we're doing this staggered pattern with that. For all of those blocks, go ahead and extend up your diorite here for the pillars and the pilasters. And the same here for over the door frame. On the left, and then mirror the entire thing on the right. Okay. All right, next phase, cobblestone again, just like so. You can see here what we're going to be doing. We're going to be alternating this. Every time we do one of these, we're going to put cobblestone. Then we're going to reverse the positions of the andesite and the tuff. And then we're going to put cobblestone again. See? It's a repeating pattern. We're going to be doing this for, it's almost out of range, but you can kind of see it over there, for the rest of the building. And then, of course, extend up your diorite here for the pillars, the pilasters, and the door frame. All right, next phase. Remember what I just said about shifting the positions of the tuff and the andesite? Well, you want to do that here again and extend up the diorite for the pillars and the pilasters and the door frame. All right, next phase. Do all of it again for the pillars and the pilasters. Put cobblestone down here on top of all that. And for the door frame, we want to cap that off with just a straight lintel of diorite, 3 blocks, well no, 2 blocks thick just like so. Although for the interior, you may want to extend that out to a third block, depending. All right, next phase here, extend up the diorite just like so. For the pillars and the pilasters, do the brickwork pattern we've got for the walls, the repeating pattern I've talked about. And then here over the door frame, we want to put down some upside down polished andesite stairs. And behind that, you can just put cobble. All right, next phase, extend up all the diorite for the pillars and the pilasters. Cobblestone on top of all of that. And here, a little decorative pediment over top of the door frame with just some polished andesite half slabs and a bit of diorite behind that. Next phase, we are doing the same patterning for the brickwork. You know, you can see what we're doing there. Extend that all around the walls. Extend up all the diorite and cap off this here in the middle with just 2 more half slabs. And behind here, our pattern gets a little bit broken with the andesite. If you want to, you can improve that a little bit by adding just a central block of tuff right there. But it's a minor detail. Nobody will notice that. So here we finished our column shafts, and now for the next phase, we are putting on our column capitals right here, upside down cobblestone stairs, just like so. And then behind there, it's another slab of cobblestone, just straight across, all the way across. And that's all there is to that one. So do your 6 column capitals. On that, you want to reproduce everything you just did with the cobblestone stairs, except now do it with polished andesite stairs. Right here. And this, of course, because this is a Corinthian order, these are, of course, representing our acanthus leaves. Well, you know, Minecraft. This is as good of an acanthus leaf as we can possibly do. Oh, I broke that. Just pretend I didn't break that. Behind that, we then want to continue on with the patterning for the brickwork. And in the middle here, you can substitute that for perhaps a block of andesite instead. It's a minor change I didn't make to the reference model, but I probably would make that. So here, now we are putting on, we've built our, for the next phase, we've built our diorite columns, and we now want to put on the entablature. So all this back here is going to be cobble. And on the front here, we then want to do these patterning of tuff. Just like so. And I'll just show you that from the top down. You can see we want to make these little 3x3 cutouts in the tuff right there for some coffers. Just like so. Just like this here, connecting to the rest of the building. And fill everything in the back with cobble, and that's all to that one. Let's go on to the next phase. So here, we now want to do everything we did on top of this here for the tuff, we then want to do with diorite. And I suppose along here, if you have some extra, you could make that tuff instead of cobble. It's a minor detail, really. Most of that should be sunk into the cliff face, so it's not going to be visible anyway. But here's the patterning for the diorite that we want to place down. And just straight cobble behind that. Let's look below that. We can see we're just making these little 3x3 with one central block cut out for 3 sections of coffer. They're right underneath our pediment. All right, next phase, we then want to do, this is mostly cobble, but we have a cornice now of upside down polished andesite stairs. Just like so. You can use stone brick if you want to, but I like polished andesite a bit better. Remember to wrap them around, just like you see here. Put in this extra half slab that's extending out. This is the raking cornice we're going to have for the pediment. Just like so. And then just along the side there. So let's go back. For the top here, to finish off our coffers, right up there, and these 3 blocks that we left open, you then want to put 3 blocks of tuff. Right there. All right. For the next phase, on top of our stairs, we want to come around and put polished andesite half slabs, and then behind that, we want to put a layer of tuff, just like you see done here. And here for our pediment, we have a number of full blocks and half slabs of polished andesite and cobble, right here in this pattern. Like that there. Just trying to take that in from all the views, all the angles that we can get on it. Okay. Next phase, we want to extend up most of that tuff, and then put on a bit of extra diorite here and there. Although I suppose this should probably be sitting on something. We may want to put an extra, well, we'll see. I may have missed that. We may need to put a block of something under that. Here we, of course, want to extend up the tuff and then put on these little decorative finial blocks we have here for the diorite. I suppose these would technically be where the acroterion should go, but it's really, I mean, you know, Minecraft. We've only got 1 block for this, so it's going to end up being a finial instead. Here we have not red nether brick. That should be cobble, actually. Those are just some stray blocks. I was wondering where those are at. Those should just be cobble. I've included that in the materials list, so it's already accounted for. Right here, and then we want to extend up. You see, we're doing a very simple pattern of full blocks and half slabs of polished andesite. And then we're doing cobble, full blocks and half slabs behind that here for the pediment. See? All right, next phase, extend up the tuff again. And the diorite, just like so, on the sides. Right here, and continue up the repeating pattern for the pediment, for the full blocks and the half slabs, just like so, until they meet in a nice little tympanum there in the middle. Just right there. All right, on the next phase here, we want to, it's mostly cobble, but on the front of that, we will then want to have another cornice. This is more of a string cornice, or a string chorus, of stone here, of upside down stairs, just like so. Back here, do notice for the decorative finial on top of the pediment here, we are going to have these 2 blocks there, and then just a half slab behind that. Just like so, and in a big rectangle behind that, then just lay down the cobblestone. All right, the next phase here, now we are on to the second layer of the mausoleum. So on top of the upside down stairs back here, you want to put down now a layer of polished andesite slabs. Just like so. Just all the way around, just put that on first. And then behind that, I'll show you from the top down here, the patterning for the full blocks of polished andesite. And then there's just straight cobble behind that. And, oh, looks like there's, it should probably be cobble all the way back there, too. Like I missed that. I mean, the back of the building is just going to be squished into a cliffside anyway, so I didn't look at that too closely, I guess. Alright, so you can see here we have the split pediment on the left, then we have the round central lantern thing in the middle, and then we have the split pediment on the right. Then of course, on the next phase here, let's start at the back here. You can see we've of course got more column, more pilaster bases actually. These are all pilasters now because they're attached to the building. Carved right out of the living rock. Just like so, continuing the patterning again with the tuff and the andesite that we did before. One more block of dye right there to finish off the decorative finial on top of the pediment. And then here, you know, you know the drill. What you have done on the left, you want to mirror image on the right. Except at this time, I think I have done differently the central section here. I continued on the patterning around, but I suppose back here that should probably be a block of tuff. It's a very minor detail. None of which will matter if you're building it all out of sandstone, though. So next phase here, for our pilasters, we want to have the diorite, just like so. And behind that, of course, we have just another phase of cobble. Pretty easy, actually. You just got 4 blocks of diorite, then the 3 by, what, 5 of cobble? Then 4 blocks of diorite, 3 by 5 cobble, 4 blocks of diorite, and 3 by 5 cobble, and just straight cobble all along the back. Pretty easy. Next phase, extend up the diorite, and then whatever you did down here for the positions of the tuff, reverse that to diorite, and then, you know, vice versa for the rest of it. Just like that. So on to the next phase, extend up the diorite and the cobblestone. According to the previous phase, we're essentially repeating that. 3 by 5 cobble, 4 blocks of diorite, 3 times. And then here again, you want to extend up the diorite again, reverse the positions of the cobblestone and the tuff. For the next phase after that, another cobblestone and diorite phase like so. Next phase after that, you know the drill, reverse positions of tuff and andesite. Next phase after that, we really want to do again another cobblestone and diorite phase, except to this one, we are of course adding our Corinthian capitals. And you know what that means, upside down cobblestone stairs, and then on top of that, we're going to be putting down, on the next phase, the upside down polished andesite stairs. So wherever you can place an upside down stair that isn't clipped off by a wall, go ahead and do that. Just like so. For all the projections and recesses of the second level. And on the next phase here, you want to do the same again. On top of all those upside down cobblestone stairs, you want to do upside down polished andesite stairs, just on top of all of those. Behind that, you then want to do here with, it's another reverse position of whatever it was down here for the andesite and the tuff. For the top of that. And then with the column capitals done for the next phase, you know what that means. That's right, the entablature again. So behind that, you just want to do a straight run of cobblestone, and then in front of that, you want to do a straight run of tuff. Like so. And then in front of that, we want to do the projections outlined in tuff, just like so, with a 3 by 3 cobblestone filler. And back here, the same sort of deal, except, oh, I missed a couple blocks. These 2 blocks back here should really be converted to tuff and not cobble, sorry. Didn't see that, it was shoved back in the corner there, so I missed it. Oh, well, you know, Minecraft, at this scale, from square to round, there's not much we can do with it. and then do the right split pediment the same over here. For the next phase, for the diorite, you want to do the same thing, just straight cobble across the back, then straight diorite across the back, and then do just a big square here. And I missed this too. Yep. So these two blocks right here, that should be converted to diorite. Sorry. And I guess since these are filler, that could probably be converted to just straight cobble. It's a minor detail. Nobody's going to be crawling all the way back up into there to see that. I obviously didn't when I was looking at the reference model. There's always some small details, some small fiddly details I will miss whenever I do the tutorial, I've noticed. So next phase here, we want to do the cornice now for this second entablature. And you know what that means, upside down polished andesite stairs. Note the projecting slab here for the raking cornice. Just like so, and then wrap your stairs all the way in. Just like that there, and just put another full block back there for that. We can't really shove another stair back into that. And then just wrap them around the front here. And do all of this back here the same that you did on the left. Like so. And then behind that, you can just fill all that in with pretty much just straight cobblestone. Yeah, I'm not sure why these blocks are missing. That should probably be a double slab of polished andesite. Alright, next phase. On top of all the upside down stairs, including now at the back here, because this is quite high up, you may be getting to the level of the top of your cliff up here, I assume, perhaps. But if not, you can just, probably extend this back and connect it to with the rest of the cliff. So here's the detailing for the top sections. Right here you can see we're doing, it's a split pediment, which means we're only doing half of a pediment, just like we did down there. For that, we're doing it again up here for this split pediment design. I haven't really done much split pediment stuff before. In fact, this might be the first time I've done it. It's an interesting design. It's I think it mostly tended to be used more in North Africa. I don't know. It's one of these things that split pediment designs actually showed up first in wall paintings before anybody actually built it. That seems to be how the Romans worked out their architectural ideas. They would paint it on the wall for, a decade, and then look at it, and then think, that looks pretty good. Let's actually go out and build it. Alright, so here, just very simple for the central section. Half slabs on top of all the stairs, and then a big 5x5 square of diorite, and then cobblestone filler. And repeat all that you did on the left, over there on the right. Note the missing half slab back there. We do have to have that. That's part of the split pediment design. Like so. Over here on the side, now we're doing, I didn't put a typical red nether brick and deep slate tile thing like I would for Roman stuff, because this is supposed to be carved out of rock, so I thought that was inappropriate for this. But we just continued with the materials we already have, and we are just, we're pretty much half slabbing the thing off at the back. Even though on the actual Petra Mausoleum, all of this is connected to the cliff face. Like the Petra Mausoleum, the cliff face goes up quite a ways above the top of the building here. But because we have to adapt this design for Minecraft a bit, I had to do the back this way. So depending on how tall your cliff is, like if your cliff is shorter than this, then you've lucked out. If your cliff is taller than this, then you're going to have to sort of carve this portion out of the top of the cliff. And because everyone's cliff is going to be different, I can't anticipate that. I can only show you the basic pattern, and I'm going to have to leave it up to you to do the final integration. So, you know, some assembly required. All right, and it looks like I just left a hole in there for some reason. Here for the little rounded off sort of domed lantern thing. I don't know what it's called. At the top here, we've got 5x5 diorite again, but with the corners removed. And then over here, we've got the same split pediment design right here. All right, let's go on to the next phase. We're almost done. In the home stretch now, so a bit of diorite there for the decorative finial. And then we want to extend up and start finishing off the split pediment design. You can see here what we've done over here. We just rotated it at 90 degrees, and we're doing it here to form an angled pediment design. This is called a split pediment, because if I back up a little, we can see down here we have a full pediment, but up at the top here we have half of a pediment sort of split off and then rotated on itself and then put up here, and the other half of that one is put up there. It's an interesting design. And then here we have the diorite arranged like so, 3x3, and then 4 blocks on the edges. And then, of course, do the right pediment the same as you did for the left. For the left and over here, we have just a 1 block of hanging diorite over that way, another block that way, and then we have the rest of the split pediment design right here. And then the finished section behind that there. And then in the middle there, 5 blocks in a cross section for the diorite. All right, next phase, 1 block of diorite there. And then I think we already finished off the split pediment. Then 1 block of diorite there and there. Easy phase, 3 blocks of diorite. Next phase after that, 2 blocks of diorite there, another one here, and then for the decorative finial on top of the whatever this is, we have upside down cobblestone stairs here. All right, next phase after that, put down 4 upside down polished andesite stairs and a block of cobblestone. And then 1 block of diorite here. And then 3 blocks of diorite here, or a 4th one back here if you prefer. And then finally 1 block of diorite there at the very tip top. And once you have done that, your Nabatean mausoleum from the city of Petra will be complete. So I want to thank you very much for watching. Remember, the entire mausoleum and world here is available for download in the video description for both Java and Bedrock versions. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.